All right, so for today, we're going to go over two-way frequency tables. So a frequency table shows how often each item occurs in a set of categorical data. So for example, a survey was taken to determine to see if students preferred dogs or cats. In this table here, they show, we have pets, dog and cat, frequency. So 18 people preferred a dog, 12 people preferred a cat. So what we can do is we can just write down our total number, 18 plus 12. So we would get 30. All right. Now that's just a frequency table. So now for a two-way frequency table, if a data set has two categorical variables, you can list the frequencies of the paired values in a two-way frequency table. So the data above just had people telling me or telling the surveyor what pets they preferred. This, we broke it down into two different variables. We still have that what pets they preferred, dog or cat, but now we break it down by, did a girl say they like the dog or a cat, or did a boy say they like the dog or a cat? So now we have two different variables, the preference for a pet and then the gender, girl or boy. So whenever we have one of these, what we're going to do is we're just going to add up the totals going across by the rows, and then add up the totals going down for the columns. So we get 8 plus 8. So we're going to have 16. 10 plus 4. We get 14. And now we're going to do our columns. So that means we have a total of 16 girls were asked in the survey. 8 girls said they like dogs. 8 girls said they like cats. For the boys, we had a total of 14. 10 said they like dogs. 4 said they like cats. And then now for our totals, we're just going to add up the columns. So 8 plus 10, we get 18. So 18 total people, or 18 boys and girls said they like dogs. And then 8 plus 4, we get 12. So 12 boys and girls said they like cats. And now for the grand total, we want to see how many total people did we ask in this. So both sets of numbers, I should add up 18 plus 12 should give me 30, or will give me 30. 16 plus 14 is going to give me 30. So my total number is 30. But again, we always want to make sure that this total, the 18 plus 12 equals 30 and 16 plus 14 equals 30, right? This number always has to be equaled by the sum of this total column and the sum of this total row. If they don't, you have to go back and check to see if you made a mistake. So that's the difference between a frequency table and a two-way frequency table. So we have another survey where someone was asking students in a line what fruit they preferred during lunch. So it's broken down into two-way frequency table. So we've got our gender over here, fruit, type of fruit they liked over here. So we had 16 girls said they liked apples, 10 bananas, 14 for oranges, and then 25 boys said they liked apples, 13 boys bananas, 14 boys said they liked oranges. So now we just need to add up our totals, right, to find out for our two-way frequency table. So for this, when we add it up, we're going to go 16 plus 10 plus 14 equals 40. So we know that we have 40 in here. Then we want to add up this side. So now we're going to go 25 plus 13 plus 14 equals, we get 52. All right, let me write this in. It's not working out too well. All right, that is supposed to be a 5 and not an S. Okay, 52. Now down here, we're going to add up 16 plus 25. I want you guys to answer that in Edpuzzle. I'll ask you just to add these up, these three columns. All right, so this one came out to be 41. This one came out to be 23. This one came out to be 28. And then how about, what do we get for our total? So we end up for our total, we've got 92. All right, so we had 16 girls said they liked apples, 10 girls said they liked bananas, 14 girls said they liked oranges, for a total of 40 girls. We had a total of 52 boys broken out that way. And then the other part of this data is now we know that out of everybody surveyed, 41 people said they liked apples, 23 people said they liked bananas, and 28 people said they liked oranges. Right? So it just gives us a way to break up the data, two different variables. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take the same data. We're going to keep going with this survey. So we're going to say if we wanted to show relative frequency, let's move this up. There we go. Okay, so relative frequency, to show what portion of a data set each category in a frequency table makes up. So you can convert the data to relative frequency. So again, that's where we do part over whole that you would have done last year. And then we're going to convert it to a percentage. So what we want to do is we want to take each number. So right now, if I'm looking at, let me just highlight it. I've got 16 girls that liked apples out of 92 people. Okay, so this is just going to be 16 divided by 92. All right, 16 divided by 92 gives me 0.174. Right, so 0.174, if I want to convert that to a percentage, so I'm just going to write it over here, 0.174. I want to convert from a decimal to a percent, so I'm going to multiply by 100, which will give me 17.4%, or just move your decimal spot or decimal point 2 spots to the right, and you'll end up with the same thing, 17.4%. So then I just fill that in, 17.4%. All right, I'm just going to fill in the rest of the table. I'm going to pause it so I don't waste you guys' time. All right, it's not letting me pause. Cool. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to fill out the rest of this. So in this one, let's see. So in this, I end up with, if I do this out, I'll end up with 10.9%. This one, I end up with 15.2%. Right. And then this last one over here, I'm going to end up with 43.5%. 43.5%. So on these, what I did was, again, using my table up here, I said, okay, 16 divided by 92 gave me this. To get 10.9, I took 10 divided by 92. For the 15.2%, again, I'm in the column of oranges and in the row of girls. So I took 14 divided by 92, gives me 15.2%. And then last, I took the total number of girls and divided it by 92, and that gave me 43.5%. All right, so I want you guys to try this next row for boys. Give me the percentages. All right, and I'll stop and you guys can try that Edpuzzle. Okay, so what you should have gotten was, I'm just going to write it out because we've got 27.2%. We have 14.1%. 15.2% for boys and girls, right? So look at that. So if we look up here, you can see the girls had 14 divided by 92, and the boys also had a 14. So 14 divided by 92 gave me 15.2%. And then we had a total of 56.5% of the people were boys. And again, all I did was I took 52 divided by 92. And then for our percentages, if we take 41 divided by 92, we would get 44.6. Whoops. All right. 25% for this one. 30.4% for this. And then for the total, 92 divided by 92, we're going to get 100%. Okay, so for that, I basically just did the part over the whole, right? I took 62 over 92. For this 27, I went 25 divided by 92. And then for this total here, the 44.6%, I took 41 divided by 92. All right, so that's how we figure out what our relative frequencies are. We convert them to a percentage. So now I'm just going to ask you a couple questions, and then you're going to go on and you're going to do we'll have a couple other questions after this as well. But first one, what percent of girls selected an apple? So again, we know that we have a total of 92 here, right? So 92 we had total. I didn't put in that table. So what percent of girls selected an apple? So this is going to be 16 divided by 92. Again, this is the one that we did up above. It gives me 0.174, which equaled 17.4%. Okay, what percent of people selected an apple? So this is where we're going to look at what's the total, right? So we would look at how many total people do we have selecting an apple. So 16 plus 25. Again, we did this up top. We had a total of 41 people. 41 divided by 92 is equal to 0.446. And then I want to make that into a percent. So I can move the decimal 2 spots or multiply it by 100. And I end up with 44.6%. And then last type of question we could get is, of the people who selected an orange, what percent were boys? So out of the total number that selected an orange, so of all these people that selected an orange, what percent were boys? So now this is where I'm not going to use my total amount from the table, but I'm going to use just for the oranges, right? So of the people who selected an orange, 28 people selected an orange, what percent were boys? So 14 out of the 28 were boys. So if we just went 14 divided by 28, we get 0.5. And then if we multiply that by 100, or just move it 2 spots to the right, we get 50%. Oops. All right. So those are just some of the questions that you may have on Google Form. I'm going to ask you, I may ask you some questions here just about the rest of the table. Last part is, if you're given a table like this, it may ask you to find what the missing number is. So in this case, it tells me I had two frequency table for preferred sport, and then gender for girls and boys. So what you want to do is find the missing number. So I would take 36 and then subtract 12 and 6 from it, and that would tell me how much I have left over, which would be that amount right there. So if I say take 36, 36 minus 6 minus 12, what does that equal? 18. So I know that I have 18 for this number. So that means now I can find out what my total is here. 18 plus 10 gives me 28. So now what I want you to do is I want you to tell me what the missing numbers are here. All right, and that'll be all for now. Thanks.